Guiding your clients on camera has to be one of the most sought after skills. And the thing is, a lot of people don't even realize that they are looking for these particular skills. But if you can foster and cultivate these skills, I promise you will make your clients feel amazing and their videos will actually get results. So they will love you and you will continue to get work. And yeah, I would definitely say that this is one of the biggest skills that's helped me along my journey in terms of getting to where I am today. And yeah, it's underrated. A lot of people don't have these skills. And so if this is something that you can master, then it's going to take you a long way. So I'm going to give you a couple of tips, maybe 5 or so on what's really helped me along my journey and what really helps me actually extract really good information from my clients so that I can get them results. So the very first thing is to have a marketing mindset. Now, might be where a lot of you kind of stop because, for the last 10 years, I've consumed a lot of books about marketing, so many online courses, taken on a lot of mentors. And yeah, it's really helped cultivate this marketing mindset of mine where I'm always looking for the best opportunity, like looking for what actually converts, so I know what things that agents or clients can say to actually get results. And it's great to have a couple of frameworks in mind as well. And there's a whole bunch of books that can give you a lot of frameworks. First things first, I'd say Donald Miller, Building a Story Brand or Marketing Made Simple. These core principles that these books present to you and a whole bunch of other marketing books will give you a good couple of frameworks to work with. And yeah, if you can kind of work with these frameworks with your clients, it's crazy how quickly you can just smash out video ideas. Like I did a shoot for a client yesterday. In about an hour, we shot 11 pieces of content. And this morning I edited it in about an hour as well. So that just sets that person up for a whole month worth of social content. And that's doing everything that I'm kind of talking about in this video today. But the first things first is definitely you have to have a marketing mindset. So you have to have a really good idea of what you want out of a video. And, because you're guiding this person on camera, right? They don't necessarily know what they want to say. They're not an expert at saying things on camera, but they are an expert in what they actually know. So if you can kind of extract that from them and you have a couple of marketing frameworks in mind, then it's actually really easy because you just kind of have to chat to them. But yeah, cultivating your marketing skills and knowledge all the time is an absolute must here. So the second thing is lead them. So as I said, you have to have a clear idea on the goal of the content. So is this a top, middle, and bottom of funnel campaign that's going to go to a digital marketer? In which case you need to have a little bit more, aggressive style in terms of like point out your target audience at the very start, hook them in, and then give the bulk of the value or the offer, make sure there's a huge offer, and then finally actually give them an amazing call to action. But if that's for a marketing campaign that they're paying for, that's necessary, right? But if this is just social content, it's obviously necessary to still have a hook, try and get them to say the best thing first and identify their target audience, right? And you have to have an idea of who they're talking to and what the goal of the content is in terms of, is it going to warm up the audience or is it supposed to introduce the audience to them, show some of their expertise? So if you have a really good idea of actually what you want the content to be, and again, this is cultivated through the marketing mindset, this is going to allow you to actually get really good content for them. And yeah, as I said, like you're leading them. So when people are on camera, they want to be led by you. And this is partly where it's, really, it's a skill that people need to cultivate to get here, because there's a lot of great videographers out there that perhaps aren't as amazing at communicating and, extracting performances from people because of this, right? So they are in your arms and you need to softly lead them to the end goal. And that's how they need to feel during this process. So yeah, having definitely people skills is very important as well, because if you're able to communicate with people, understand what they're going through and guide them in the right way, you're just kind of putting a wall up here so they bounce off it, these kinds of things. And that's actually going to get the results much quicker than even if you have the best marketing mindset in the game, but you don't know how to communicate these ideas to them, then you may not actually be able to get the type of content you want, because they need to feel comfortable. It's super important. They need to feel like you're leading them. So the third thing is to love them. So again, the biggest objection I find is that, agents in particular, that's what I work with. I run a real estate media company, and I've got a couple of courses with a bunch of value on my website if you want to check them out in the description below. Relatively great value, but the biggest objection I get is that people are afraid of how they're going to look or how they're going to be perceived by the general public in terms of what they're going to say. So the more that you can love them by being very enthusiastic, being very encouraging, and being very confident, just instilling confidence in them. They'll go, "Oh, was that all right?" And you go, "That was fantastic. So good. Oh my God, you're a natural." You have to lie to them, right? But chances are the take looks much better than that person thinks. And the other thing is content is so disposable these days that it's like, what are you going to do? Take 15 takes getting the one thing right, even though you stumbled across a word? Or are you just going to make 5 more pieces of content in that time? So this is the other part of it, is that it's just like, if people are stumbling on their words, what I tell them is like, hey man, when you're chatting to me and you stumble over your words, I don't blink and I don't judge you, because this is a normal thing for people to do. So a lot of people crave authenticity when they're looking for companies to work with these days, right? So you don't actually have to nail everything. And in fact, you're most likely going to warm up to your audience even more and build trust with them if you actually do stumble and continue. So, one big tip that I give people on camera is that I'm like, hey, look, like, exactly what you're talking about. And I know that you know what you're talking about. So instead of trying to think about the words you're saying before you say them, because that's definitely going to stuff up what you're going to say, just answer the question that I have. This will lead into the next point, but like, when you ask them a question, I'm like, just answer that question as if, a seller or a client has asked you that question, because you could talk about that for 10 minutes. I know you can, because you're a professional, right? So, and that kind of does ease people a bit, because I'm like, if we were just chilling at a bar and I was having a beer and I asked you this question, you'd be able to spitball at me for 10, 15 minutes. So there's no camera here. Just look at me in the eyes. We're just chatting, and just fling them a question. And that's really going to loosen them up, get them a bit more comfortable. And that's instilling that confidence in them that they know what they're talking about. Because, it's just, if you've been on camera before and you've had troubles with it, you know exactly what they're going through, really. And I've been on camera for 15 years now, and it took 5, 7 for me to, get good at it, really. So, instilling that enthusiasm in them, be like, look, it's, the second they muck up, it's all good. You're doing a great job. Let's just jump straight back into it again. You see? And that's a perfect example. I just mucked up my words, but this is a normal thing to do if you're talking about a topic that you know about. So you just continue on talking. There you go. You got to continue on talking. So the next one is ask awesome questions. So again, this comes back to the marketing mindset, right? So if you have really good questions in mind, and then you just dig for gold after that, that's going to get you the results that you actually want. So for example, I work with real estate agents, and we're doing this shoot yesterday, right? He specializes in acreage properties, and so I'm just digging for gold, digging for something to chat about. I'm like, okay, cool. We nailed the content that you brought here. So what about, is there a cool story with this seller that you met, like with your client? Oh, no. Okay. So during the process, did anything interesting happen? And generally there's always a story to come out of it. And there sure was. And he ended up having a late night dinner at their house while signing a contract with them. I'm like, that is gold. So you're just digging for gold until, lights go off in your head, a big bell goes off, and you go, that's what we need to talk about. So you go, okay, cool, stop. I'm going to ask you that question and just tell me the story, what happened, That frames them as authoritative and also personable. So that's a really good thing to do. And again, in the framework, there's a whole bunch of different things that you can be searching for in terms of like, get the client to look empathetic, get them to look authoritative, get them to overcome objections in a piece of content, get them to talk about the client's problem, both actual problem and how they feel about that problem. So again, this is about having different frameworks in mind. But if you're asking awesome questions, and this comes down to you intimately knowing your client, what their goals are, then it's going to be just as easy as it was for me yesterday in terms of making up 11 pieces of content on the spot. So this is the real key. Ask awesome questions, and then give them that encouragement, right? And lead them. Make sure that you're like, cool, that was good. Let's go in this direction. All you need now is a call to action, or like make that call to action a little bit more soft. it doesn't have to be intense, or that's cool, we can end that piece of content there, or we just missed that hook, so we're just going to jump in and do that first sentence again, and then we've got this whole piece of content done. Great job. All right, sweet, let's move on to the next one. So again, you're the guide, you're the almost personal hype up person, right? And all the while, obviously, you've got to be able to operate the camera in a way which looks relatively good as well. So that's a different skill altogether. And yeah, so finally, it's more about just get them to talk to you, as if you're having a conversation, So if you can get them in that kind of loose, easygoing state, then it's going to be easier to just bash out a bunch of content for your clients. And then, sure enough, if you can over deliver, and this is a big part of what I like to do in my business is, they book a particular shoot, and that shoot includes these things, and then I try and over deliver. So usually we only give 3 to 5 pieces of content for that particular shoot, but I over delivered, gave him 11, and I'm very confident that he'll come back pretty much every month for the next year, right? And that will have a huge impact on his business, and then that will also come back and impact our business as well. So this is the other part of it, is that, if you genuinely know your client's goals, you know who they are, you know their audience, then you know what their audience needs to hear to help do business with them, then the more pieces of content you can make around that, the more pieces of content that's actually going to convert. It's going to have people in public being like, oh my God, you're that guy on Instagram that I keep seeing. And clients tell me this, and I'm like, oh, no way, really? It's probably because you're saying the right things that I'm guiding you to say that's having an effect and allowing clients to actually connect with you, right? So this is a little bit about, guiding clients on camera. And it's, again, one of the most underrated skills. And if you want me to make more videos on this, just let me know, because I've got a lot of knowledge and experience working with this in particular. But yeah, hopefully you've gotten some value out of this, and hopefully this can improve your skills so you can get more results for your clients and make more money. So yeah, thanks for watching. And I didn't even say my intro at the start. I was just jumping straight into it. Let's do it now. Hey creators, Aimon here, and this is where I help creators go full time. Anyway, I'm out.